Okay, we back. We
Yes,
back.
we are back. We are back, and again we are gonna talk about patience and tenacity. Last time we talked
Yes.
about patience and tenacity from the angle of our podcast.
Mm,
We didn't mean to take the whole episode to talk about
no.
patience and tenacity from the angle of our podcast, but it turned out like this. So this time we want to talk about patience and tenacity from the angle of our own business endeavors. So my social media marketing business and Zane's personal coaching, cryptocurrency, NFTs. Is that
Education.
Sorry,
Education business.
educate? Yeah, and
Yeah.
educational business. So so definitely. Do you do you
Oh.
shall I start?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I think you were cut off for a little bit. So, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Um. So when it comes to patience and tenacity in my business, is how I see it is that when I started my business in 2019, so I started it just at the beginning of my master's degree. I had big aspirations, big ambitions, uh, but I guess um, I guess there was no enough. There was no enough Tennessee at the time in myself, like because I started with someone else. The responsibility was shared between two of us,
Mm,
and and I believe that I was not matured enough. I would say I
mm,
still think when it comes to tenacity, it's um, s- I don't know how it is with some other people. Of course, I have like when we look at the snapshot of the long term, there is loads of tenacity and patience in me. But sometimes when we take a snapshot of some short terms in my business career, there was little of patience in me, to be honest. There were times when I was giving up some ideas, giving up some actions really quickly. I was not determined enough to do something consistently. So um, probably probably more patience and more tenacity would be would be good for me in the past.
mm,
Probably maybe I would be in a different place right now. But at
mm,
the same time, I'm great. At the same time, I believe that I'm for a reason in a place where I am today. So so maybe the fact that things didn't come easy to me in business allowed me really to learn this patience and tenacity, because if I have had loads of, let's say, lucky moments, like okay like really good shots, I would say,
mm,
and it would turn out amazing just with little to nothing work put in it,
mm,
then maybe I would hold this conviction that yeah, it's gonna be like that all the time, that it's gonna be easy, stuff
mm,
like that. But um because I experienced some hurdles on the way,
Mm.
to where I am today. That's what makes me sure that I will keep on pushing, keep on hustling, you know.
Mm. Mm.
Because like when I look at this almost 3 years of me doing my business, I had like probably almost every, I don't know, 8 months, I would say,
Mm.
I had a moment of maybe 8, 12 months. I had a moment of truth, I would say. So first moment of truth was when I part ways with my business partner and I started on my own. And it was the same time when COVID started. And everyone was like, "Oh, COVID is not a good time to do business."
Mm.
And at first, I was like, "Okay," so I let it go. But then I realized that if someone is telling me that it's not a good time to do business, it doesn't mean I have to believe in it.
Mhm.
It's just, there are loads of people who believe in it, so I will be the one who will not believe it, and I will keep on pushing. I will take advantage of the situation when everyone is like, "Yeah, we can't do much because it's COVID," right? Then, you know, the business was not going as I expected it.
Mm.
Uh, at the end of 2020, uh, and I was about to move in Gdańsk with my girlfriend, and at that time I could barely make a living. To be honest,
Yeah.
three first months were very very tough for me and her, like for me particularly. Uh, and to this day, I'm very grateful for her support at that time.
Mm.
Uh, then the situation changed, um, but again, the situation changed for the better, and there was this lack of Tennessee at the moment
Mm.
at that time, and like half a year later, we started working together, and you remember that there was there wasn't enough Tennessee in me at that time. So that's why I took a big hit at the end of last year, 2021, and that's why
Yes.
that was the point when I decided that I should focus only on automotive and I should only really position myself, really position my business there,
Mm.
and be structured. Of course, my assumptions, my goals when it comes to sales, when it comes to revenue, I'm not there definitely at the
Mm.
moment. Still, probably quite far away from them, but at the same time I have learned patience because of the hurdles in the past, because normally people would probably give up many times if they were
Mm.
in my shoes.
Mm.
But I kept on pushing. I keep on pushing now, even though it's not how I imagined it to be. But I know
Mm.
that eventually it will be how I want it to be. So
Yeah.
it's Tennessee. So I'm ready to suffer. I'm ready to bear this to bear to make it through the let's say low season, through inconveniences, through problems, through issues. Uh, but at the same time, I have loads of Tennessee in me to keep on pushing. So I'm not
Mm.
just waiting. I'm keep on pushing all the time, every day.
Mm. Yeah.
And I guess I mentioned lately that the change of mentality in me. So changing from being marketing expert to becoming an expert in sales. I'm still learning it. I get loads of no's. I hear loads of no's, and also I hear loads of uh, maybe actually I get loads of uh, no replies, left on read, I would say. Me contacting people and them not
Ignored.
getting back to me instead, so they don't get back to me and they don't say no, yes, and I'm in like the state of what it's gonna be like now, right now. Um, so so yeah, definitely. That's how it looks with me and tenacity, with me and patience
Mm,
in in my business. How about
yeah.
yourselves?
Yeah, for mine is I fully agree with what you just said in the beginning, which is I only learn about patience and tenacity when I look back in hindsight. It's never set out like that. Like, I think the thing about starting a business that I find very interesting is that we can all learn about the things that we need to have, like, oh, you need to be patient, you need to have tenacity when you start a business. Like, you can understand that in principle, but to really apply it, it really takes a bit of time. I obviously know at that time that, oh yeah, you need to be patient, you need to have tenacity when you start a business, but it's only when you look back in hindsight, you go, oh yeah, this is what patience actually means, this is what tenacity actually means. Like, I told you, right? The first time I did a sale, first time I did a pitch, it's immediately 5 figures in terms of sales, just like small 5 figures, which is obviously great. But it also took me 4 years when I first had the idea until I actually find a niche, find a way to teach, find a way to sell, and to actually make it happen. It was 4 years. Um, but yes, some people will say, oh yeah, I wish I could have taken me a bit shorter, I wish I could have done this a bit earlier. But I guess for everyone to understand is that for 4 years, I didn't give up, you didn't give up when you were 2 years in, right?
Yeah,
And we may
exactly.
not get the results yet, but we just continue to do something about it. Like every day there's the movement. Like for me, it's like learning about what I was trying to learn about sales or marketing, about identifying a niche, about how to sell, about this, about that. I was getting myself ready. And like you as well, you were getting yourself ready. You have some courses that you did, and you have been playing with some ideas, running some ads, right? We just carry on. And I think
Yeah.
that's my learning about patience and tenacity is that it's easy to understand that in principle on paper, but it's only when you do it you know what patience actually mean, because I don't get results immediately, but it's the tenacity bit then comes in, which is how do you make sure every day you are working towards getting the results slowly and gradually, but not stopping. It's like every day you do something to head towards it. And yeah, I agree. Could I have sped up the time that I used to make that 5 figure sales? Of course I could. Um, could I, have done something different to shorten that space? Of course I could. Could I now say, oh yeah, I wish I could have taken me only 4 months instead of 4 years? Of course I could, but I probably wouldn't have learned the lesson of patience and tenacity if it was that easy and that quick. It's
Hmm.
exactly because it was not easy I understood the difference in patience and tenacity. Now, obviously, this is not to say that I'm going to wait another 4 years for the results to come back. But now, at least I know, I can see how this works now. It's like a rocket, right? When you first initiate, when you first go and they rise to the air, it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
that takes a lot of inertia and momentum in the beginning, but once it takes off, the tenacity gets easier and easier and easier, and then the patience also starts to kick in, because I've had that 4 years already of knowing how to be patient and how to have tenacity along the way. So I fully agree with what you just said about that. And it's because no one can teach you about it, like, as much as we would like to say this is what patience mean and tenacity mean, the truth is we have to go through it ourselves to learn that. And I think most people, where they give up is they don't see the results immediately, and they don't have the tenacity to keep going every single day. um, and it took you 2 years, it took me 4 years, and we're still carrying on, still ongoing. So yeah, definitely not easy, but I also see the fun in having that, starting a business. And especially when you read the books, you're like, yeah, I'm quite proud. I can say that I'm a fucking entrepreneur now, you know, like, yeah,
Yeah,
I am. You know, I remember when I said to you a long time ago when we were doing the coaching thing, I was like, oh my God, how can I coach you that I'm not an entrepreneur? I don't make sales yet, blah, 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 blah. And I've always
yeah.
had that identity. I'm like, oh my God, who am I to teach? Who am I to whatever? But then again, you know, it's like, keep going, keep trying, and then sometimes have a bit of pressure to
Mm-hmm.
push you, you know, like, you know, actually the calls that we have and the chats that we have also give me some pressure to go, oh shit, I better up my game here as well, because you know, you got to also improve yourself whilst you're helping someone to, you know, become better or whatever. You like, I have to become good myself. So it's like having that pressure to keep pushing you. And yeah, I think tenacity is not just in terms of your business, right? It's also in terms of your mindset. It's like, how can you
Mm-hmm.
constantly push yourself, the mindset to grow, to become better? And I don't know what you think about this, but do you think patience and tenacity is something that someone can develop on their own, or is it easier when you have someone to do it with you?
Uh, hmm. That's really good question, but I think that hmm, doing
Y-
it on your own, it's probably a bit harder.
Mm,
But
I
I
agree.
guess I guess to some extent you have to do it on your own. Now there is no way that someone can tell you like be paid. There is no way that you will understand it by just someone telling you be patient, be they have the tenacity. It's more about you experiencing it on your own skin, you developing this sense of like, yeah, tenacity, patience, it's good, it's good, it's good for me, it's something that I need to achieve success.
Mm, yeah, I agree. I think it's, I think you're right. I agree with you that I think it's easier when you have someone to share what you're thinking, what your journey is like. You see someone else going through the same process, because if you're on your own, it's easy to talk yourself out of it. So this is why I think for people starting a business, like finding your peers and your community, someone who understands where you are, is such a critical and important thing, because then when you talk about things, it's like, yeah, I can understand this. And sometimes, you know, you're in a low mood, I'm in a good mood, I can like, yeah, let's go, come on, we can do it, it's fine. Sometimes it's the other way around, right? You're in a good spot, I'm in a bad mood, and then you can go, yeah, come on, it's okay, let's carry on, I had this before, you helped me, now I'm helping you, let's do it together. It's like, yeah, that's what you need. And I think this is one of the key things that can help you have patience and tenacity. It's, don't rely on yourself to do it. It's going to be hard. Find someone to encourage each other and then go on, which is why we do this, right? Which is like, we know that, you know, someone else who listen to this might be starting a business and not having that partner to talk to, which is why we always say to people, oh yeah, come, you know, follow us on Instagram, for example, like that, so that you can kind of have a chat, and then we can probably ask you up on the show to just have a chat. It's like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, definitely, 100% agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
having a support is important, but at the end of the day, you have to develop it. You have to develop it in yourself, because
Mm,
even if you have great supporters, your supporters at some point might tell you like,
mm,
let it go, don't kill
mm.
yourself for it. But if you
Yeah.
feel deep inside that you need to kill yourself for it, do it, do it. Like,
Mm,
if you feel like it's there, it's inside you.
mm. Completely, I agree. I agree.
Okay, I
Cool.
believe that's it for tonight.
Nice and
Thank you,
simple.
Zane, for this conversation. Thank you for sharing
No, thank you.
your experiences. Hopefully, we will come to you with some more exciting topics next weekend. and the week
Getting late.
after, yeah, it's already late for me. I'm
Yeah.
going to bed at 10 normally.
Tenacity. This is the real
Tenacity.
demonstration of tenacity.
Yes, yes. Normally, I would be, already and
In bed.
yeah, tucking myself into bed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Okay, cool. Remember
Okay.
to like and subscribe to our social media channels, and remember to join us next week on Wednesday. This time it was Tuesday, but normally we will be doing it on
Mm,
Wednesdays.
yeah, indeed. Okay, then I will see you next week.
Yeah, see you next Wednesday.
See you all